What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the FBA Capital. And this is going to be a weekly market breakdown. I was going to do a daily range case study for the previous Friday because I'm pretty sure I didn't post one for you guys. But as you guys can see, if you take a look at this chart, Friday was just a trending day for the most part. London session made the low of the day. We had a retracement at 8:30 where we got news, and from there price kind of just ran the previous day's high from the day before. So it was just a trending day. So for the most part, there's not really much to learn from days like this besides stay out of the market. So with that being said, we're going to come over to our higher time frame and we're going to be doing our higher time frame analysis. So let's get right on into that. But hopefully everyone's having a good week, staying productive and doing all the things that they need to do to prosper. And if you're not, then you probably should, because time is money, and once you waste that time, you're not getting it back. So today is October 30th. So what I usually would do is I would mark up the monthly highs and lows when we go into a new month. But since we're at a point in time where price isn't going to be here much longer, well, I'm not going to say price isn't going to be here much longer. The month is about to be over. So in the next day or two, this monthly candle is going to be closed. So I'm just going to start off by marking up these monthly highs and lows. So first thing I'm noticing is we did run this low to the left, and this is on the monthly time frame, guys. So mind you, this is a big point of interest. So we ran this low on the higher time frame. We ran this order block to low. These two last down candles, if we go to say the 2 month, it's going to be one candle, as you can see right there. So if we go back to the 1 month, it's going to be 2 candles. So they act as the same thing if you understand the concept of order blocks. If you don't understand order blocks, then I recommend you watching some order videos. I'm not going to get into it in this specific video. So we understand this monthly candle is bullish. So off rip, we are already bullish based off of the higher time frame. Okay, we understand that, and we grab liquidity. Okay, boom. Now we have an analysis. Also, look for where we are big figure level wise. We have this 11,000 big figure level right here. And what do we know about these big figure levels such as 11,000? We know that they like to hold. This is where big banks like to move price in, around, and to, and all that. So we're gonna mark this up. So we have this low got ran on a monthly time frame in an area of very high interest, because this is the order block. We ran that low and immediately stood back above 11,000, and we are going to more than likely close bullish for the month. So with that being said, where do I think price is going to make its run to? Ideally, I am bullish, so I'm going to be aiming for this monthly high, and I'm also going to be aiming for this weekly high that we're going to have right here. And if you don't know where I'm going to draw the weekly high is going to be right here. It's going to be in confluence with this monthly high. So that monthly high is going to change when the market opens. I will be changing that when the market opens, and that is going to be because the monthly candle isn't done. So it could push higher, and that monthly candle high could be higher than what it is right now. But as the market is closed, there's not much I could do. So I'm going to mark up these weekly highs and weekly lows. The weekly is also bullish right now. So let's just put this right here. The monthly time frame, bullish. The weekly time frame is bullish. So we have two time frames, higher time frames so far, that are already bullish. So basically, off rip, I'm automatically going to be looking for some sort of retracement coming into this week, maybe early on, to potentially have a reversal going into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to continue higher. So now that we have this higher time frame monthly, weekly analysis down, the monthly and weekly analysis, there's not usually much that you have to analyze, in my opinion, because it doesn't change that much. There's only a few candles, and there's only a few areas that price is likely going to reach for, because I'm not going to look at this area up here around 12,400, 500, because I know that is significantly far away from where we are, and price is likely not going to reach there in a day or two. It's going to take maybe a week or maybe a couple days. So now we're going to move our way down to the daily. And boom, we have another time frame right here. Where's this up here? Where's that thing I was drawing? Right over here. We're gonna move this over. The daily time frame is also bullish now. So we have 3 higher time frames that are bullish. What is that telling me? Simply that price is more than likely going to continue bullish. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So where do I think price is going to reach for? Like I said, we have these weekly highs and these monthly highs right here. And if we look at where that is in price, try to match that with a big figure level, such as right here, we have this 800 level, which could definitely see a reaction. We also have 12,000 right up here, which could also see a reaction. Also, price could be making its way to both of these areas. You don't necessarily know which one is going to hold. You just kind of go with the flow and go with what price is showing you. So one thing I would personally be looking for is potential pushes into the week. Now we're going to go back to this higher time frame because this is going to be important. And why is this going to be important? We're going to be drawing a fib from this high right here. Why this high? Because this is the last up candle around this 11,800, 12,000 area before the big drop in price, and that is the current range that we are currently in. So now that we have that, we're going to go back to that daily time frame, and you can see that this area also lines up with this 12,000. It lines up with 12,000, and if you don't know where I drew the fib from, it's just going to be from this high. This on the daily, I drew it on the monthly, but it's going to be the same general area as you can see down here in this high. And as you can see, these fib levels are in alignment with this 12,000 and above these highs. And if you look over here, we also have the fib above these highs also. So within this big range from this 79% all the way to the 62% right here, I'm going to make this just red because this is going to be my selling area, ideally, where I would want to see price have a potential drop off in price. And there's a few reasons. Like I said, we have that big figure level, 12,000. We also have that fib short from the higher time frame. And like we've been saying and seeing, the past couple months, weeks have been very bearish. So the long-term direction for this market, aka NAS100, is more than likely going to be bearish. But if we're looking short-term, what has happened the past week, the past day, we are short-term bullish. So we're simply going to follow that, and we're going to try to make this idea on what price is likely going to do. So for example, we're bullish here. What I personally think will happen into this week, I want to see price drop early on into the week, ideally, for me to potentially try to buy up to see price make its way all the way up to this 12,000 area. Now, once we make it to this 12,000 area, from here, I know that there is a chance that price is going to potentially fall now. Even if it's not a long-term move, I know that there's likely going to be a reaction of some sort in this area from 11,800 to 12,000, simply because fib short, and we have these big figure levels, and we also have liquidity to the left, meaning we can run a lot of highs and grab a lot of liquidity before potentially dropping lower. So that is something that I could potentially watch out for. Now that is based off the daily. We're going to go down to our intraday now. So like I said, we are extremely bullish. Now price could open when the market opens today. Today's Sunday, and it could just keep pushing higher. It's definitely possible, but you got to look at what is more than likely going to happen. Price could push, but in my opinion, what would I rather see? I would rather see price have a retracement to then potentially push higher, and that will fit our higher time frame perspective. Now also keep in mind, I'm not going to be able to predict the market. I'm only going to be able to make a educated guess or hypothesis on what is likely or what could potentially happen based off of the past. So now that we're here, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to mark up the previous day's highs and lows of this day, which is Friday. So we're going to get the previous day's high. That's not the previous day's high. This is the previous day's high, and this is the previous day's low. Fix these real quick. Previous day's low. We're going to get the Asian session range from the Thursday, which is, if you guys don't know why I do that, you should know by now if you watch these videos. And if you don't, I basically do it just because if you understand the market and you're not a complete beginner, you know that when the market closes on Friday, it closes before the Asian session starts. So as you can see, I always mark up 18 o'clock to midnight. That is my Asian session. And as you can see, the market 18 o'clock doesn't have a candle and midnight doesn't have a candle from there. So that's why I use the previous day's Asian session range. Now we're going to also pull a fib from this previous day's high to this previous day's low. If you don't know, I drew it simply where those dotted red lines are, those lows using the bodies. And as you can see, now we're kind of getting a potential trade idea, meaning we're having areas that price could potentially retrace to based off of the daily range. Now, where would price likely reach for? If we are bullish, we're likely going to reach for these highs all the way to the left, and that would be a great target along with this high right here if we drop. So that high is going to be a target, and this high over here, because like I said, based off that higher time frame, we have a few areas of liquidity that we want to grab all through this 11,800 to 12,000. So if we look at where that is, 11,800, we also, if you look even more to the left, you have these highs over here. And if you look even more, I'm just going to add this last area as a potential area for you guys to target, just like that. So those three highs are going to be where I would ideally want to see price make its way to. if you're able to get a buy trade. Now keep in mind that higher time frame perspective and the lower time frame perspective are going to kind of vary, because you could be bullish on the higher time frame, but you got to understand that you could still have a bearish day, and that could still be a higher time frame which is going to remain bullish. You could have 2-3 bearish days that could just be flipped by 2-3 bullish candles. So that's why the higher time frame, you got to keep in mind that it is not going to, just because it's bullish for the day doesn't mean you're going to get a good buy trade. So for example, since we're extremely bullish right now, that doesn't mean we're going to get a buy trade. For all I know, when the market opens, it might give me a better opportunity to potentially short, because I understand that price is very overextended. And we're also trading above the previous day's high from the day before, which is going to be right here. This is the current previous day's high. This is one of the previous day's high. So this is Thursday's high. So one thing I could project is price to potentially have a retracement. Now, where would price potentially retrace to? We have the fib levels. Now let's also align that with potential areas in price. The 38.20% level is in alignment with 11,400, and then we have the fib long down here from the 62% to the 79% of the fib. It's also in alignment from this 11,200 area. So now we have these two areas that price could likely retrace to. Boom, 11,200 and the fib long. And if you also take it a step closer and look deeper in this area, look for the confluence. There's a fair value gap right in here. So in between these two wicks, we have this fair value gap. And if you don't know what a fair value gap is, that is also, I have another video on it. But you see this is a fair value gap within this area. So you have the 15-minute fair value gap along with 11,200 big figure level in the fib long from the previous day's low to the previous day's high. So now you have an area that has way more sense and more confluence. So this 38.20% level, in my opinion, I wouldn't want to look for a potential trade here, just based off the fact that this area down here has more confluence, and there's more reason for me to believe that price could be attracted to 11,200. Now let's also look for where 11,200 is over here on the higher time frame. 11,200 is all the way down here. So keep in mind, price would be retracing back into this range to potentially go higher. Now, what I'm going to do to final this off is I'm going to be pulling a fib from this low to this high, just like that. And you can kind of see it's not going to be perfect. Like I said, when the market opens, the market could push a little bit higher or drop a little bit lower. So this is going to vary, but that, just you can see, just like that, I'm trying to see if this would align with 11,200 with a whole different fib, and it does come close to the area. But with that being said, I'm not going to have it there just because I'm not going to draw a fib from somewhere that doesn't have a clean high, because price is still pushing from that area. So this is going to be my higher time frame analysis on NAS100 based off the monthly, weekly, and daily. I gave you guys my predictions, and based off these higher time frames, monthly, weekly, weekly, and daily, we are very bullish. So we're just going to remain that, and more than likely, I think price is going to make a push for this 12,000 area, and that's what I predict for this week. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's personally what I think is going to happen, and what I'm going to be aiming for, and what I'm going to be mapping my trades around. So if that makes sense. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And if this was helpful, make sure you share it with a friend. Gonna see you guys soon. And also make sure you check out the previous video on that FBA gaming announcement. So make sure you look at that. We're going full force, full content, full value, creating entertainment. And we're just trying to stay productive and get this money. So with that being said, appreciate everyone for watching. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video.